Thank you, Chairperson. The point is, of course, that the DA supports this bill and all of its implications because it's going to help not workers but unemployed South Africans. The minute you are unemployed in this country, you're in a terrible situation. You may have no financial means to support yourself. And this bill is going to tap into that 128 billion rand fund or reserve fund that the UIF has to give workers that become unemployed additional benefits. It's going to put money in the hands of ordinary unemployed South Africans, and we wholeheartedly support this. And every political party in this parliament supported this bill and its amendments. Of course, we did make amendments because we thought that certain parts of it should be tightened up, and all of our amendments were agreed to. So much for the bill. However, it would be wrong of me not to comment on some things that happened in this House yesterday. The honourable member from the NFP spoke some utter rubbish in this House. If you look at what he said to my colleague, his comments were extremely homophobic. And as a gay South African, I find it completely unacceptable that somebody who is a member, an honourable member of this House, can come to this House and make these kinds of homophobic comments to cheers. It's unacceptable. Secondly, he told us...
Honourable Ollis, will you just take your seat, please? Sure. Yes, Honourable Minister, why are you rising?
I think, Chairperson, I note the honourable member referred to is not in the House. Very serious allegations are made, which are counter to the principle and ethos of our Constitution. Given those charges that are being made and allegations, I think the honourable member should be warned to be present in the House in order to have an opportunity to respond to the allegations made, particularly with reference to offences related to the Constitution.
So, Honourable Minister, no, Honourable Minister is correct. And furthermore, Honourable Ollis, if you have such a strong view on what happened in another session of the House, you should submit a substantive motion so that we can activate the necessary processes to deal with that.
Chairperson, I'm guided by you. I think I've made my point. I'm happy to raise it when the honourable member is in the House, if that's...
Or submit a substantive motion.
As you like.
Thank you.
Thank you. Furthermore, he told us about the wonderful heaven that is the municipality run by the NFP in coalition with the ANC in Zululand. He told us about the water. You know, remember the wonderful water? They've got all this water that they're providing for all these people, and the Democratic Alliance doesn't do it. Let me quote to you from the city press.
Point of order, Chair.
No, clearly
Honourable Ollis, take a seat, please. Yes, Honourable Member.
We are debating Labour amendment bill. Therefore, I think the member is really out of order. It cannot be. It cannot be.
Order, Honourable Members.
On the floor. It cannot be that we are dealing with yesterday's debate in the Labour debate.
Thank you, Honourable Member.
Cannot be.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Ollis, let me just remind you that we are dealing with this bill, and let's stay within the ambits of the discussion that is currently on the order paper.
Chairperson.
Order, Honourable Members.
Chairperson.
Order, Honourable Members. I'm still busy making a ruling, Honourable Waters. I'll come back to you once I've done so. So in your input, please focus on what is currently in front of us on the order paper, Honourable Ollis. Yes, Honourable Member.
Chairperson, may I address you?
Yes.
Chairperson, yesterday during the budget votes, many ANC members spoke about everything but the budget vote and gave us history lessons on many fronts. And not one presiding officer brought them into line that they should be talking specifically on the budget.
No.
Honourable Ollis is giving comment.
Order, Honourable Members.
Honourable Ollis is giving comment on the bill before us, and he's talking about water, which many workers and unemployed people...
Honourable Member, you are making a... You are now... Honourable Waters...
I don't know what your problem actually is.
Honourable Waters, you made your point. Honourable Ollis, as your Deputy Chief, will be saying that the ambit of the bill must be your point of reference. Will you deal with it like that? And may I also state, Honourable Deputy Chief Whip, that generally presiding officers do not raise points of order in the House. We deal with points of order that are being raised by members. And we do not interfere in the debate of a member unless another member has a point that he or she wants to raise. Honourable Wallace.
Thank you, Chairperson. Let me rephrase. Workers are not going to vote for the NFP or the ANC because of this, you see. This is how you treat them. According to the city press, a person called Nshaba was born in the village situated in the heart of that Zululand district municipality, is disillusioned and angry as she scoops water out of a hole she dug in the riverbed with her 15-year-old daughter. The shallow pools where residents and workers have to come to Kwamusi and Silva, who are waiting to be connected to the municipal's pipeline, drew water for their homes and washed their clothes in the sand banks of the river. The only water left is about 50 centimeters on the riverbed, seared to the color of concrete. That's what the NFP and the ANC provide to workers in Zululand. But it goes further. There's a report. Water that's provided to those workers has to be drawn from the river for 26% of the population in Edembe, if I pronounce that correctly. 26% of workers in Pongolo have to draw their water out of the river. And in Abakulusi, 12% of the workers have to draw their water out of a river. And it's even worse in Nongoma. 38% of workers, you leave them to draw water out of a river. You don't provide water to them. Let's get to the toilets you provide for the workers in that municipality. Okay? Pit toilets.
Order, honourable members.
57% of the workers in Edembe have to use pit toilets because you don't provide sanitation for them. 60% in Pongolo have to use pit toilets because you don't provide toilets for them, and the NFP doesn't either. In fact, they've named those pit toilets Magwazas, which is named after the long-serving former mayor of the National Freedom Party, Zanele Mangwaza Msebisi.
Honourable member, your time has now expired.
Get the message.